Have you ever felt like you're trying to run brand new software on a really old computer? That's what it's like when we chase big goals with an outdated mindset. So today, we're diving into a practical, neuroscience-backed playbook for upgrading your internal operating system. We're talking about how to literally rewire your brain for high performance. And this quote right here, it just nails the core problem, doesn't it? You've got these huge, ambitious goals, but your internal programming, your identity, is still running on old software. And that creates this constant, frustrating friction between where you want to go and who you think you are right now. So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you actually install a new identity, a new operating system that's actually built for the success you're aiming for? Well, that's exactly what we're going to walk through, step by step. Okay, so here's our game plan. We've broken this whole process down into 3 system upgrade modules. First, we're going to tackle rewriting your inner code. Then, we'll get into debugging your daily habits. And finally, we'll bring it all home by installing your new operating system. A super clear roadmap for a total internal upgrade. All right, let's jump into part 1, rewriting your inner code. This is all about your foundational identity protocol. See, high performance doesn't just happen because you work hard. It starts by very intentionally coding who you decide to be. And look, this isn't some abstract theory. It's a really simple 3-step process. First, you define one big, exciting goal. Second, you write an identity statement based on that goal. And third, and this is the absolute key, you perform one small action every single day that proves that new identity is real. So what is this identity statement? It's simple. It's a short description of who you are, but you write it as if it's already true. It's not a wish, it's a declaration. By doing this, you're basically giving your brain a new command, a new job description. You're telling it, hey, this is who we are now, so start looking for evidence to back it up. And here's the power of this in action. Your old code might say something like, I'm bad at sales. I mean, that's just a fixed label. It's a dead end. But the upgraded code, it reframes it to, I'm learning high-converting sales systems. You see the difference? It's huge. One is a judgment, the other is a process. You're moving from a limiting label to an empowering action. Okay, moving on to part 2, debugging your daily habits. So if your identity is the new software, then things like procrastination and bad habits, well, they're the bugs. They're the performance glitches in the system that we've got to find and fix. So when you look at the neuroscience, procrastination almost always comes down to one of these 3 things. First, an identity mismatch, where the task just doesn't feel like you. Second is fear. Fear of failing, fear of succeeding, or even just fear of being seen. And the third, the one we all know, is the trap of cheap dopamine, all those little distractions. Now, if you think fear is the bug that's slowing down your system, you can't just ignore it and hope it goes away. You've got to run a diagnostic. There's a specific drill you can use to face that fear head-on and start to rewrite its code. And here's the drill. First, just free write for 5 minutes on why you're procrastinating to get that fear out onto the page. Second, take it to the absolute end. Write down the worst possible thing that could happen. And third, you rewrite the story, but this time you include all the potential good things that could happen. This process actually uses the logical part of your brain to calm down the fear center, putting you back in control. Now for that third bug, cheap dopamine. And yep, this chart pretty much sums it up. These things are more than just distractions. They're literally hijacking your brain's reward pathway. They give you this quick, easy, unearned hit of dopamine, which makes the hard, focused work you need to do feel so much more difficult in comparison. Okay, this brings us to our final section, part 3, installing your operating system. We've written the new code, we've debugged the glitches, now it's time to install the daily protocols that are going to make this new identity and these new habits actually stick for good. And the installation process starts every single morning with what's called the 3M protocol: movement, mindfulness, and mindset. And we're not talking about a 2-hour routine here. This could be just 15 minutes, a little bit of movement to get blood flowing to your brain, a few moments of mindset to calm your system, and a quick mindset check to get you ready for the day. Now here's the non-negotiable rule for your entire operating system. It's so simple, but it is so powerful. No cheap dopamine until your most important work is done. You have to earn your rewards. This literally retrains your brain's reward system to associate that good feeling with accomplishment, not with distraction. And this slide right here puts it all together into a daily checklist. Think of it in phases. You've got your morning boot up sequence, the 3M protocol, your identity check. Then your core work block, a solid chunk of deep work. If you get stuck, run that fear scan. And then your evening shutdown. Unlock a real, meaningful reward and finish with a simple gratitude reset. This is the whole system in practice. You know, the most important thing to take away from all of this is right here on the screen. Real transformation, the kind that actually leads to high performance. It's not some big lightning bolt moment. It's the quiet, consistent daily execution of your new code, just one small action at a time. So we've walked through the entire playbook: how to write your code, how to debug your habits, and how to install the system. It's all right here. The playbook is in your hands. So the only question left is the one you see right here. Who will you decide to be tomorrow?